Dr. Flash, I remember standing around a TV set and all of us gathered around because we heard the news anchor say back in 1981, we now have a name for it, AIDS, autoimmune deficiency syndrome. And we all had heard about what was happening primarily in our gay community, which is why we misunderstood it and called it a gay disease. You remember this as well. You're younger than I am, but even as a child, this got your attention.
Absolutely. I noticed that this new thing had come on the fore that changed the way people interact with others. People, particularly within the community of color, would whisper about, oh, I think this person died of the monster. And I wanted to make this thing go away. So I can remember 9-year-old Charlene telling her parents, I want to be Dr. Flash and I want to end the HIV epidemic. What a precocious kid, my poor parents.
Yeah, well, lucky for the rest of us because you are a physician, a doctor, an educator, researcher, public health leader. You led the Harris Health's HIV prevention program, and you've been a voice on HIV prevention and health disparities ever since that 9-year-old thought. The beginning of Avenue 360 was in addressing AIDS services, and as we know, they were critically needed in those beginning days.
Avenue 360 is the coming together of 3 nonprofits, all birthed in response to the HIV epidemic. 1, Omega House, the state's first AIDS hospice. 2nd, the Bering Community Foundation, which provided resources to, at that point, young gay men who were dying and couldn't get jobs, couldn't get transportation, couldn't get resources. And then Houston Area Community Services, which provided health care for people who were, at that point, dying with HIV. The 3 of those organizations came together under one umbrella, Avenue 360 Health and Wellness, which, when you think about it, is 360 degrees of care with the person at the center.
And we know the gay community in the beginning was the one that rallied behind, we have got to do something about this. And it was sooner rather than later that we realized that there's a much larger community in the United States that was impacted by it as well. In fact, even looking at numbers today, you see across the board, heterosexual people, HIV/AIDS is still an issue.
That's right. The virus doesn't know what your sexual orientation is. It doesn't know what your race is. The virus is a virus.
So there's no cure. And I want to make sure people understand that because sometimes they say, oh, we have a cure. It's not a cure.
It is not a cure.
But we have better treatments. And those treatments have actually become something that people can tolerate even better than before.
Some people are on as simple as 1 tablet once a day, if you can believe it. It used to be a handful of pills that had side effects that some thought were worse than the care that they were getting. Now it's 1 tablet once a day, very few side effects, and some people are actually managed with injectables where they come in every 2 months or so. Much easier to tolerate. But there is no cure, and it is still a very highly stigmatized disease. And so I think about a 3-pronged stool where one part is HIV testing, the other part is HIV prevention, and the 3rd part is HIV treatment. And those 3 work together to control the epidemic.
Yeah, when you say prevention, that's where that PrEP comes in.
Yes, absolutely. PrEP, condoms, having a conversation before you do the most intimate thing on earth about a person's status so you can make informed decisions.
Yeah. And when you say PrEP, what does that entail?
So PrEP is HIV pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's medication you take before a risky exposure to protect yourself if you're at risk.
All right, you talked about that stigma, and it still exists no matter what. If it's tied to sex anywhere, there's that stigma. But when you come here, you want people to leave all those thoughts at the door. That's not what you're interested in. Interested in treating a person.
That's right. Compassionate care for all.
Comprehensive services, primary care, OBGYN, pediatrics, dental care, and another very important piece, the mental health piece.
There were learnings from the HIV epidemic when you realized it was more than just the pills, that you had to address these other non-medical drivers of health in order for people to be able to partner in their care. And so health isn't just about the absence of a diagnosis. Health is about wellness. It's about physical, mental, and social well-being, and we try to be a part of the solution for all of those.
Yeah, and part of that solution, even toward the end of life, your hospice. You have one of the longest-running hospice programs in the state of Texas.
Yes, Omega House, I call it my emerald. It's nestled in the heart of the Montrose community, and it is a place where mostly members of the LGBT community, but anyone who has need can receive comprehensive, holistic, centering, loving care until their last breath.
You mentioned removing barriers. What about cost? Because that is the biggest barrier to so many people dealing with healthcare.
Oh goodness, today cost is a concern for all of us. At Avenue 360, we do accept private insurance and Medicare and Medicaid, but if someone doesn't have insurance, we will still take care of you.
Your last message when it comes to dealing with this thing called HIV/AIDS.
I would say to have that conversation, make sure you get tested, make sure your partner's tested. If you aren't having that conversation, get on PrEP so that you know that you're protected. And if you get the diagnosis, don't sit home alone feeling like your life is going to end. Come see us and we'll take excellent care of you, get you on medication, get your virus fully suppressed so that you can live a long and healthy life.
Yeah, Dr. Flash, thank you so much. If you're looking for affordable, high-quality, compassionate health care that puts you at the center of every decision, Avenue 360 offers whole-person care for you and your entire family. To make an appointment, give them a call at 713-426-0027. That's 713-426-0027. You can also visit them online at avenue360.org.